That moment when you wake up at the crack of dawn to get ready for work or school or whatever it may be, might be the hardest part of your day. Or if you're a college student like me and have to study hours and hours for a test, sometimes the best way to start your day is with a cup of coffee and a donut from Dunkin' Donuts. You could say that America runs on Dunkin'. The craving for Dunkin' Donuts is at an all-time high and doesn't seem to dissipate. Let's take a closer look to why America is addicted to Dunkin' Donuts. In 1950, we'll start with the history. Bill Rosenberg started the first Dunkin' Donuts, known as Open Kettle at the time, and this was in Quincy, Massachusetts. Only 5 years later, he began to sell it as a franchise. What an incredible amount of success for this one business owner. And a short 10 years later, it went global. That's incredible. The market on this is a great value and holds many incomes. For instance, coffee alone sells 60 cups of coffee per second. And that's 2 billion cups of coffee per year. There's 2.9 billion donuts sold per year as well. What an incredible amount. Chains are all over the world. How are we able to get into a chain? By franchising. Many people want to know how they can invest their money once they work hard to get it. Well, I believe that franchising is a very great way to go. For instance, you must have a minimum of $250,000 in assets to start a franchise with Dunkin'. Also, you must pay a franchise fee of $400,000 to $900,000 depending on the market. I think that's a pretty fair deal to start a successful business. In America alone, there's 9,394 Dunkin' Donuts. And internationally, there's 3,507 Dunkin' Donuts. What an incredible amount. Now that you've seen some of the history, let's take a look at the future. There's a great amount of satisfaction in coffee and donuts. And I would say that's the main two things that Dunkin' is successful at selling. But what makes it so special is the quality that they serve to their customers. And that's what keeps people from coming back. And for instance, Dunkin' makes sure that the coffee comes from places like Colombia, Brazil, Guatemala, and that's some of the best that you could think of to get coffee from. And that's why I keep going back, because the quality is good. The donuts are also made fresh daily. What an important thing in my opinion. People want fresh products. They don't want to come and get a donut that's all hard and stale. So that's why I think it's important that satisfaction for the customers starts with fresh and quality products. Breakfast. Well, they obviously have a variety of food, and I think that's very important as well. Not everybody wants a cup of coffee or a donut. So it's important to have a variety for everybody, such as donuts, bagels, sandwiches, and breakfast burritos. This is making it work for everybody, but I also think that I am very impressed with Dunkin' Donuts accommodations to people such as vegetarians or who can't drink milk, since they brought in oat milk to put in coffee to replace milk. And they also brought in vegetarian sandwiches like the Beyond sandwich. I think it's a great thing for them to do for people who may have not be able to eat everything on the menu. And that really shows that Dunkin' Donuts cares about their customers. The service is always good whenever I go to Dunkin', and the cleanliness is the very best thing possible. For instance, throughout the pandemic, I felt like Dunkin' Donuts went above and beyond to make sure they served their customers clean and safe products while all that was going on. And I think that's very important. Now that I've showed you why Dunkin's great and I've kind of got you hungry, let's see where you can find some of these goodies. Some of the locations that I go to, since I live downtown Peoria, are the ones on 613 Western and 1600 North Knoxville. But there's many locations in Peoria, East Peoria, Washington. You just have to look for them, and they're all over. As I mentioned before, there's over almost 10,000 locations in America. I believe that their price range and their happy hour is very good and also accommodates with customers as well. For instance, they have a happy hour where you can spend $2, 2 to 6, to get a latte anything you like pretty much, which is a great deal considering how much I spend on coffee. It's a great money saver. You also can get a 50-piece Munchkin set for $10. This is great for people who want to take snacks to school events or give people some kind of snacks like at a birthday party. I remember when I was a small child, I'd always take in the snacks to my birthday. And not everybody can afford large snacks and big like cakes or pies. So the Munchkins was the best way to go, and it made everybody happy, and it was cheap. Some of the impacts that Dunkin' has might surprise you. For instance, Dunkin' had donated 400 pounds of coffee and over $5,000 in gift cards to the Veterans Outreach. They also have a mobile app that allows you to pay however you like. Talk about accommodations, that is great. And the fact that Dunkin' wants to give back shows what kind of company and what values they hold. Dunkin' is truly the right place for anybody. It accommodates the needs, and it is a very friendly family place. So next time you're trying to decide where to eat, remember what I said, and go ahead and grab your Dunkin' bag, get a Munchkin, and eat it. Thank you.